Hey there, this is Jonathan, and in the following tutorial, we're going to take a look at customizing the interface or a workspace for Adobe Illustrator CC 2019. In order to see our workspaces, we do have to be in a current document. So let's open up a new letter document. You can just click on it once. Sometimes it takes it a little bit of time. You can also do Create New from here, and then click on the letter, and then hit Create. So once you're inside this document, look over here on the right and you'll see that we have a number of different workspaces that are already defined. By default, the Essentials is the workspace that shows. You'll see that we have a somewhat minimized toolbar over on the left-hand side. And then you'll see over on the right-hand side, we also have a somewhat minimized toolbar. If we go to the Essentials Classic, you'll see that we get a lot more options that are visible. In fact, you'll see that our tools are expanded into the advanced set of tools, which means that we get to see basically all the major tools that are there, and then a lot of the other panels as well. Now we can change around these panels and add to these panels, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, before you do that, you might want to go ahead and go and look at some of the other workspaces that are there just to see what they look like. When you get back to the Essentials Classic, to make sure you're at the same place, go down to the bottom and choose Reset Essentials Classic, so you know that you're starting off at the same place as me. Now, to expand out this middle range of tools, you can click on the double arrow once and you'll see it pull out. Now, pretty much these are the tools I want, but I do want to rearrange things. You'll see that we have layers, asset export, and artboards at the bottom. I'm going to take that asset export and drag it up right beside where it says libraries, up there at the very, very top. Now, I'm going to choose this entire region. And you can drag it away and you'll see that it will float by itself. But I actually want to take that and drag it to the right-hand side to the very bottom, and you'll see a blue line appear. And so that's going to go underneath my properties. So we want to make that the active tab at that point. Now, there's a couple of other things that I do want to add in. I like transparency mixed in with the appearance and graphic styles because it actually is part of those. And then you'll see that I can drag that up if I need to. The other thing I want to do is I'm going to close this down. So you'll see that when I close that down, instead of this being all the way expanded up, you'll see these tools go to the right-hand side. And now I can click on the individual tools to bring them up at any time. Now, we still need some typography tools in here. So I'm going to go to the window menu, bring up type, and go to paragraph styles. Now it'll put paragraph and character styles, but I'm going to arrange those so that paragraph styles is first. And then I'm going to take this entire bar and drag it in right underneath the other set of tools. And the last one I'm going to add in is going to be my type glyphs. And I'm going to drag that in underneath that because that's kind of nice to get to when you're trying to do special things with different types of fonts. And that pretty much does my main setup of my main tools here. So at this point, I can go ahead and create a workspace, and I can call it DME or DME setup since I already have that. If you've already got one, you can write over the name, and that's totally fine. Now, before I go forward, I have one that I forgot, which is a toolbar. I'm going to create a new toolbar and call it my DME Tools. Now with the DME Tools toolbar, I'm going to bring out just the essential tools that I know I'm going to need. In order to bring these in, you want to edit the toolbar and then drag them in. It used to be that you would drag from the main toolbar, but now they've changed that. I know I need the selection tool, I want the direct selection tool, and I want the group selection tool. We have to be careful about how we drag it in there. The magic wand tool is really helpful as well. We might need the artboard tool. We definitely need the pen tool, but we don't need any of the other tools because we can easily access those, except we do want the curvature tool. Now, some of the other ones, the line segment tool, the arch, I don't think that that's really that important because I can always create a line segment just by clicking with the pen tool one place and then another place. I I can bring in the rectangles though. I could even bring in the ellipse tool, because these are primitives I'm going to use quite often, and maybe the star tool. Then I'm going to go down a little bit and take a look at other tools I know that I need. The shaper tool is not that important. The symbol sprayer is not that important. The graphs are not that important. I definitely need the type tool though. And then we might even consider type on a path tool. Let me get that type tool in there. I definitely will need the gradient tool. The mesh tool is pretty darn cool, especially the new one. And then I definitely want the shape builder tool and the live paint bucket tool is pretty good, so I can use those two as well. And then maybe the rotate tool, scale tool, I don't really need those until I actually need them. I'm just going to pretty much leave it at that. Last one I might add in here might be the eyedropper tool. So let's just say that I've got that as my main tools. I can close that and you'll see here's my main set of tools that I'm going to be using quite often. And now I want to go back and then do new workspace, and I want to rename this replacing my existing workspace. Now, the beauty of having a workspace is that if you go back to Essentials Classic and you reset this back to normal, you'll see it goes back to the way it was before, and you can always now go to your new setup, and you'll see that it even remembers the position of your icons and everything, and which panels were open. If you had one open, it might remember that, so you'd want to close them all before you make your workspace. But having your own custom workspace is really helpful, and having it being set up based upon one of the existings is also really helpful, because that way you just learn where the position of the tools are normally. So I definitely suggest that. It will definitely help you be more focused on your work and also allow you to get to the tool that you need much easier. Thanks.